questions about your participation in Tilt, and if you could just give me a little bit of feedback about your lesson, that would be great. So I have a first question I want to know is what unit you taught and what was your favorite part about that unit?
For the unit we did color, light, sound, and waves. So students work on learning about the different parts of waves, talk about light and color, how that fits in with electromagnetic spectrum and electromagnetic waves, and then we also go into sound and sound waves, both the similarities and differences. So the project we did for this unit, students were given the major vocabulary terms that they had to define, and then they created a Prezi on those, connecting them and kind of having it flow together with images as well so that they could understand the concepts better. And then the last thing they did was they worked together and had to create videos that would explain their science concept. So for example, with waves, they had to talk about what a transverse and longitudinal wave would be and demonstrate that so somebody who hadn't come to science class would be able to watch their video clip and understand those concepts.
How did the lesson engage the students through the technology that you used?
Well, for the first Tilt project we did, they had used Prezi before, but this time they actually had to include either video clips, and some of them did through YouTube. They put those on that would relate to their vocabulary terms, and also with pictures as well. So that added a new dimension. Students really liked using Prezi because they were able to collaborate with each other and not have to all be on the same computer at once. They were able to share that. So if they were at their house or at the library, they were all able to work on one project together. And also for the videos, the students really got engaged, being able to come up with their own ideas, their own props as to how they were going to talk about their term, define it, and then demonstrate that. The kids were so excited about using the flip cameras. They also loved being able to go back and look at their take and see how they did. I had several students who would do 2 or 3 or 4 takes to make sure they had everything perfect, and the end product of their videos they were very proud of to share to the class.
What parts of the lesson were teacher directed and what parts were student directed?
To start off with the project, I actually didn't give as much direction as I do in the past. Usually I go through and define every term with the students and explain it and go into detail as to what it exactly means and gives them examples. And for this one, I actually just gave them the terms and said, you have to go through the book, find out what it is, what it means, and then figure out how to make a Prezi to share that information and fit it together so that it makes sense for somebody else to look at it. And then they had to do their videos. So it was much less teacher directed as it had in the past, and students had to really go in and dig and figure out what things meant and come up with their own way to do it. I also gave students a rubric that they were given at the start of the project, so they were able to see how they were going to be evaluated both on the Prezi and also for their FlipShare videos that they were creating as well, so they knew exactly what the expectations were. For the students' part, they worked together to figure out who was going to do what for each term and video clip, things like that. But as they were working, I would rotate through the groups and talk with them and see what exactly they were working on, make sure that the terms and definitions they had were on the right track, help them with props or any other little glitches that they had along the way, just to kind of give them some guidance and feedback.
What assessment tools were used to formally assess the benefit of the tech integration with this project?
To look at whether students understood Prezi and whether they were getting those major concepts of sharing documents and flip cameras, all that sort of stuff, I actually used our Mimeo votes. They're little student response systems that the students were able to do, and I was able to put the questions up on the board and they were able to choose their comfort level, whether they felt like they were at the beginning stage of that, whether they felt like they were gaining more confidence, or even to the point where they could teach somebody else about it, is kind of the terminology that we used. And what's nice about the Mimeo votes is I was able to see instantly where students were at and their comfort level with the material. A lot of students, after doing this, did show a great improvement from even the beginning of the year, but even midway through the year till the end of the year, with their comfort level using different technology tools, and really commented that they enjoyed it as well.
So what was a student's reaction to all of this project?
Well, it was interesting. There were a couple different things I noticed. One, a lot of the students, even students who aren't exactly strong readers, did a really good job because they were excited to use the technology and they had to get the reading and other information out of the way first, so they were motivated to get that. There really wasn't any redirection that I needed to do with students when they came to class. They were ready to get the flip cameras out, get their laptops out, and start working on the project. They were very directed and used their time effectively. And a lot of them commented that they had a lot of fun doing it. I have numerous students, especially once you hit middle school, that don't feel comfortable getting up in front of the class and talking. And using the flip cameras, they were able to really perfect what came out as their final product, and they were really proud to show it. A lot of students who wouldn't feel comfortable otherwise. And they always ask now, when are we going to use those flip cameras or Prezi, those sorts of things too. So that's neat to see that as well.